guys, welcome to the Save Continue podcast, where every other week we get together and talk about video games and video game related stuff. As always, I'm Shanae Howard, and with me is Tommy Shelby.
Hi, Shanae. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
And the unfortunate Ryan Robinson.
What the fuck?
That is true.
You know,
Thank you.
It is interesting that Shanae is talking to me this way, Tom, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, I'll tell you why. Because happy birthday, Ryan.
Wait, it's your birthday?
Not today. It was a couple days ago. But you didn't let him know. So.
Yeah. So it's.
I don't have Facebook anymore. So and unless
you know, can I tell you something? Tommy's not on Facebook, and I have his birthday memorized.
Yeah, but y'all been best friends since like middle school, so.
That's true.
Yeah. Well,
we came out the uterus together.
That's kind of a little unfair. When's my birthday then?
Yeah, Ryan. When is her birthday?
April 20th, 1969.
Yes. All right.
Nailed it.
But happy belated birthday, Ryan. I'm sorry I'm a boyfriend.
Oh, I'm afraid to tell you.
Is it a burger? Is it a LaCroix?
No,
yeah,
it's not. It's not. But like, I don't like.
What is it?
It's just okay.
Ryan, you just have to tell us now.
Well, it's just this.
It's not your birthday anymore.
It's just this.
Oh,
why are you afraid to tell me about that?
Yeah,
because I don't know. I don't know what you will and won't make fun of me for, so I gotta play it safe.
I make fun of you for drinking the grandma water.
It's not. It's just all it is. All it is, Thomas, is it's the same soda water without the syrups in it. That's it. So, you know, it's just.
Well, you want the carbonation, but not the tooth decay.
Exactly.
It's like you're the same person, but without the balls on you.
Okay.
That's a little rude. His personality is not defined by his balls.
Sure. And you know what? I'm 37 years old now, and I'm a new man. Okay?
Yeah. I'm a new woman.
Yeah. So
I need a new wardrobe.
I need a new wardrobe because I'm a new woman.
Ooh, I'll have to go shopping.
Yeah.
Shanae, I don't know. I don't think we have the same vibe, aesthetically speaking, and I think you're gonna try to.
Okay, we'll be buying clothes for you, not for me. So.
Yeah, but you're gonna like recommend me a lot of Coachella looking stuff, and I don't want to look like Coachella.
Coachella. As we've stated before the show, today I dress like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And if that's not your aesthetic, I don't know what.
That is true.
I almost drank this backwards and spilt it all over myself.
So guys,
I'm wearing look. I'm wearing this Jammer Lammy shirt Bailey got me.
I can't see it.
You know,
stand up.
Look. See,
nice.
Jammer Lammy.
Yeah.
Is that some Juggalo shit?
Yes.
Yeah. Whoop whoop, Shanae.
Yes, it is.
Clowny daggers, y'all.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna start since y'all are talking nonsense today.
Shanae, do you not know what Jammer Lammy is?
No.
Do you know what Parappa the Rappa is?
Yes.
It's a spin-off of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Limp Bizkit.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's sort of yes.
Wait,
it's like Limp Bizkit.
So wait, Brian Powell isn't that?
No.
That's unfortunate.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah.
We are not.
Yeah, we are.
So this week I've been playing. I almost have Pokemon Pearl beat. What else have I been doing?
My son's been playing Pearl. He seems to like it a lot.
Good. Did he also name his character My Butt so funny things would happen?
I don't think so.
He should have. And then last night I downloaded Witcher 3.
Hello, Witcher!
Because I've been watching the season 2.
Sure.
And
you want to play along?
No, because it's not based off of the game.
Oh.
But
looks like the game.
Okay.
So, some of those shots are directly from that game, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Well, it's like apparently it's like more off the books, but I don't know any of this.
Sure.
I've
Neither
never
do
read the
I. I
books
don't
or
know
played the
shit about it.
game.
Yeah, I haven't done
So let me finish, God damn it.
it. All right, God damn it.
So we were watching it, and Berto's played the games, but he hasn't read the books. And I keep asking him, like, "Oh, is that like similar to what happened in the game? Is that similar to what happened in the game?" He's like, "You know," and he probably got like annoyed with me. And he's like, "You know, I have it on my Steam account." So he logged into
Yeah.
my Steam account on my computer, so I can download it and I'm gonna play it later tonight. And I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't gotten to play the new Halo campaign yet. I've been pretty busy with like Christmas stuff, and then I work customer service, and it's been Black Friday, so yeah. Not Black Friday. It's been like Christmassy stuff going on there. I just think it's Black Friday every day because it's awful.
Mm.
And I'm playing like just a bunch of card games like Spades and like Pinochle and stuff because I'm an old lady.
Right
Cool.
What about you guys? What have y'all been playing?
Speaking of card games, I got these Nintendo Hanafuna cards. You know,
on. Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty neat.
Huh.
I have no idea how to play this, but it's pretty neat. I've been playing The Medium. I started playing The Medium.
Nice.
Just a couple hours in on that one.
How is that?
I like it a lot so far. Like, I think if you like Silent Hill, you will probably like this, you know?
Okay.
There's no combat, but like
Sure.
the combat is not the best part of Silent Hill, you know?
Not at all.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun so far. I like it.
So what's
Yeah.
the core conceit of that game?
So you are the titular medium,
Sure.
right?
Right.
And I think you work for this guy, or you're this guy's daughter who like owns this mortuary,
Okay.
and he's dead. Like he just died. And then you get a phone call from some dude, and he's like, "Come to this address, and I'll tell you blah blah blah."
Oh,
so you
no.
go there,
Oh no.
yeah.
Great.
And then I found this dead little girl,
Oh yikes. Okay.
and that's it so far.
Okay.
I don't really
I
know
mean,
what's going on so much
You
yet.
went for the snoo and you got the murders. That's
Oh, and
not great.
That in the '90s, so like that's the thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool so far. And
Oh.
then, huh?
I also forgot. I watched Matrix Resurrections 4 times. That's also something I did. Not video game related, but I did it, and you shouldn't. Keep going.
I won't. I'll watch it one time.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
And then today I started replaying Twilight Princess.
Okay. Okay.
How do
Yeah.
you feel about replaying it so far?
I mean, it's still fantastic. It still takes way too long to get out of that first village, you know? But, like, great game. I feel like that's really about it. Like Sinead, not a lot of video games past few weeks. Have been doing a lot of family stuff, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, unfortunately. Assholes.
Is Twilight Princess have werewolves in it, or am I thinking of that
Yeah.
Sonic game with the werehog?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not a werewolf, that's a werehog.
Sure. A werehog is a werewolf's penis. So I've been I have a few little nuggets. Nothing too wild. I played Dishonored 2 for the first time.
How's
And,
that?
Um,
How does it compare to the first?
so like I don't know. I think that like I think that I like it. I haven't played a whole lot of it. I'm kind of still in the first little section. There's a tutorial area where, like at the very beginning of the game, where you're playing as Elizabeth, Corvo Attano's daughter, and he's teaching you how to be sneaky. But he seems to have, sure, yeah, and but like he's like sneak up on me and don't let me see ya, and then I'm like okay, and then he always seems to know that I'm there, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
That's funny because it's the opposite of the first game where you have to do the stupid hide and seek.
Yeah, so he's like it's basically like he takes you to this pier like sort of area, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna walk around here, and then you sneak, and then he's like, when you get up to me, you gotta choke me, which is weird, but so it took
Yeah,
me,
choke your daddy.
yeah,
Is that what he says?
Yeah, he says, "Come choke daddy." Uh, but
Come choke pop pop.
yeah, like this, Papa. So I played the first little area of that. I kind of had forgotten because I hadn't played the first Dishonored game in like almost a decade now. So I kind of have forgotten like what Dishonored kind of feels like, and so it was really hard for me to get used to like the way that game controls and everything. But it seems all right so far. I'll give it some more time, but I kind of just like wanted to, because like coming off of Deathloop, I was thinking like let me play this other Arcane game that this other Arcane franchise that I'd played first, to see if those still feel the same to me after like the more fast paced Deathloop. So it's all right. So I'll see how it goes.
I think they do. I think it just feels different because you're playing it different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also like I think that the thing about Dishonored is it kind of the effects of your actions in the world kind of inform your playstyle a little bit more than the way Deathloop would.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So like that's kind of like been kind of, because like I think that with Deathloop I was kind of doing more of like, let me just do some more open experimentation to see what strategy works best for me as far as my playstyle goes. Whereas like in Dishonored they're like, if you do this thing, this other stuff will definitely happen. So if you don't want that stuff to happen, don't play that way.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to get used to that. I also played this game called Chorus. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, Chorves.
Yeah, Chorves. Yeah, actually, I'm looking at
my kids and I laugh about that. We've been laughing about that for so fucking long.
Yeah.
Like we saw it in the store one day, and like, you know, there's other things that do it, right? Like churches. Churches does the same thing.
With the V-shaped U.
Right.
Yeah.
But like like when you read churches, like you can still like you understand what they're going for.
Yeah.
But like I legit the first time I saw that in the game, I was there in the
Chorves.
store. I was like, Chorves.
What's Chorves?
Yeah. So my kids and I we still joke about Chorves.
Cursed chores.
Yeah.
But
terrible name.
A terrible name. Cool game though.
Yeah. It looks cool.
Is it terrible name or is it terrible lettering?
Terrible lettering.
Yeah, I would say terrible letter because they do say the name of the game pretty frequently in that game. Everybody gets to be titular line guy in that game, so it's fun.
Does anybody say it's not a V?
I think it would be really great if there was someone in the game who was like looking at like a document or something and was like Chorves.
Yeah.
But so basically it's this kind of like space combat game where you are flying this sentient ship and hunting down this cult group throughout the galaxy and like doing different objectives, and it's like a very open, like, it feels weird to say this, but it's like got that open world design of like all these like side quests sprinkled about, and like you collect money and stuff to get upgrades for your ship. And it's a very fast-paced game, and I think like the coolest thing about it is that the ship has this thing called drift trance. And what that allows you to do is you hold the drift trance button down, and it allows you to like use your inertia to like fly sideways and like do like these really cool strafes around enemies and like do all these really cool maneuvers. The ship can also do things like teleport behind enemies to like to keep them in your sights and stuff. But the game is really neat, and it's very pretty, and I'm really looking forward to putting more time into it. The only thing about it is that like the back and forth between you and the ship is very like corny and like very cringe. Not very cringe, but it's like the okay. So
you're talking like a 2001 thing, or like what's going on?
No,
here?
Okay, so like imagine Kit from Knight Rider.
Yeah.
If Kit sounded like Solid Snake and also had a constant murder heart on.
Mm.
It's that.
Yeah, that sounds like I would hate it.
Yeah, because he's always like we're gonna go kill those guys. I hope, and then you're like, yeah, we're gonna kill them. We didn't say that specifically, but like every time like
We murder.
so like what basically happened is your character like left this ship, like she left the ship somewhere to like she was like, hey, stay here, ship, while I go do this other stuff, and I'll come back for you when everything calms down. And then you go find the ship after like 7 years away from it, and he's like really upset with you, and he was like, well, you promised that you'd come back for me, so I hope that we're gonna go kill some stuff now because you made that promise to me. But imagine him saying all that in like Solid Snake's voice, and then you kind of get the idea. But that stuff aside, the game is very cool, and I'd like to see where it goes. I don't think the story's going to go anywhere satisfying, really, but we'll see. And last, well, I've also been playing The Last of Us. I started that up again.
I thought you might have.
It's still fun. That is still a very fun game to play.
The
I've
part that I never could. I'll be impressed.
like it's
Ryan beat that game on like the hardest mode.
like I don't even know why I fucking
Alright,
did
guys.
that. I don't know why I didn't know why I did that because okay, so I had like a very brief period, like very brief window in my life where I was like, I'm gonna play every game on the hardest difficulty it has. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what Berto does. Berto's been done for years.
You had that
I'm like,
Dark Souls boner going on.
yeah, that's
you know?
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Berto has never lost his Dark Souls boner, and he plays every game the hardest difficulty.
you know, actually, Shanae, I heard that if your Dark Souls boner lasts more than 4 hours, you should talk to a doctor.
Oh, it's been years.
Yeah.
It's still raging real hard.
Like you just play the game.
You can't get outdoor malls.
It hurts. But yeah, so
Uh,
I'm not playing it on the hardest difficulty this time. I'm actually playing it on the easiest difficulty this time. And the first time I played through the game, every encounter where like they give you the opportunity to use stealth, like I was like actively trying to be sneaky the whole time. But like this time I'm playing it a lot more aggressively, and it's
Fuck
it's
this
more,
shit.
yeah, it's more fun that way. Like I'm like every
Try that with Dishonored.
you know, I think I might. Well, I actually read something because like I read an article on Dishonored 2, and this guy like did 3 separate playthroughs, and each playthrough he did it like a different way. And one of the ways was like he was like basically played it as Rambo, and like just like ran through like shooting and like slicing and dicing everybody.
Play games.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I like to play games. That's why Berto hates playing games.
Yeah, and I like
Well, unless there's stuff that I can like find and collect, and then I'm looking at every nook and cranny.
yeah. Well, like
I'm a Rambo everything, and then loot.
well, like what I like is like when a game like it'll give you the option of stealth, but it like doesn't actively punish you for not using stealth. And I think that The Last of Us does that pretty well, where like even if like your stealth strategy kind of falls apart, you're still able to like viably fight your way out
Metal
of the
Gear.
situation. Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day about how the Metal Gear franchise has like a really deep lore. And
yeah.
granted, they're not like the biggest gamer in the world, but like they have a bookshelf full of games. Some
Yeah.
they've never played a game before, and they're like, I didn't know that about Metal Gear. Like I just thought it was like an army game, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, apparently it has like because they're also a Kingdom Hearts fan. So we were talking about the DLC because they haven't got it, and I was like, don't get it. But
The Kingdom Hearts DLC?
yeah,
You didn't like it?
no.
Mhm.
I mean, like, because they wanted more story, and I was like, the DLC doesn't give you more story.
I
It's just
see.
like additional fights.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not good at things that are tough. So, I spent the money and then beat very little of it. But I was talking about how Metal Gear has and they're like, I don't know, but they just told me the other day that they got one of the Metal Gear games, but they're now into their foray of that because they like really complicated storylines, and I was like, oh.
It's complicated.
Well, then I know the video game franchise for you. I've never played it, but from what I've heard of everybody else and what I've read online, it's very confusing.
I
It's
don't.
one of those things where like each game taken on its own isn't that confusing, but like as it branches out, it gets pretty ridiculous.
The core storyline of each Kingdom Hearts game isn't necessarily that confusing unless like you try to actually like think about more
It
than what you're
looks
doing in that
confusing
moment.
as shit.
Than what you're doing in that exact moment. If you don't think about what you're doing, it's
Yeah.
not that confusing.
I mean,
if you think about it for 2 seconds, it's like why? But why?
Well, like I don't know. I've never really found the storyline of Metal Gear Solid to be that confusing. Granted, I haven't played anything before Metal Gear Solid, so I don't know what's going on over there. But
That's where it's the simplest. Like all the Shadow Moses stuff, not the Shadow Moses, the fucking Outer Heaven stuff,
yeah,
is like where it's the simplest, But
you've also played the game, so it's not that bad for you. But like hearing about like the fact that Solid Snake and Snake are apparently 2 different guys.
yeah, and Liquid Snake,
yeah,
Yeah,
and Fun
actually-
Snake,
and Solidus Snake,
and yeah,
who
Yeah,
was
all
who,
of
all
them
the
is very
snakes.
confusing.
he's the Solidus Snake was the first snake to be elected president of the United States, actually. So
Yeah, that's the things that like is very confusing for people who don't know the franchise and are trying to get
Sure.
into it.
sure. There's a guy in Peace Walker named Hot Coldman.
I think that's the biggest problem with Metal Gear, in that like
Is
they put out a numbered game, right?
Yeah,
Like a mainline game that you could not possibly understand the story for if you didn't play some side game,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how Kingdom Hearts is because like
Yeah.
they also because the person I was talking to they also never played any of the side games. They only played the numbered Kingdom Hearts games. So they had
Yeah.
recently played one of the side games, and so I gave them a rundown. I was like, all right, these are like the ones that are actually fun to play, but like legitimately, here's a YouTube channel. Just go listen to the rundown of each game.
Yeah.
You're fine. But yeah, I think that's probably why they both also get like the thing for like having a complicated storyline is because numbered games don't mean anything.
Well, they certainly do more to I think to Konami than they do to Square, but
But
know.
I mean,
there are like characters who show up
like,
in Peace
historically,
Walker.
yes.
There are like characters who show up in Peace Walker that like are also in the numbered games. And if you haven't played Peace Walker, you're like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody would know Paz and Chico
Yeah.
if it, yeah.
So, but I like them. 3 is my favorite for sure.
Is there any games that you haven't mentioned?
I guess the only other thing was I've been playing more Back for Blood. They ran a December update that
You got more blood?
yeah they added more blood to the game.
Did they add a campaign?
How do you mean exactly?
Well, you know how the game has different campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they add a new one?
Oh
or
no. They didn't add. That's apparently still forthcoming.
It's not like the game was.
They
They
did.
know the game was only multiplayer and like they didn't have a campaign.
No, it is multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, they did.
Like just like dude, like Left 4 Dead has
Yeah.
campaigns, right? But
Yeah.
like it's still yeah.
and I'm sorry, in Back for Blood, like they're all kind of like they're separated into like into acts, but they're all part of like one thing. They're like
Right.
one like cohesive thing, but you can play them separately or whatever.
Storyline?
They did add single player progression in the game, which wasn't a thing before. And there are also like all these other different like balance tweaks and stuff like that. But yeah, I played with some friends last night, and there was a part where like I'll send you guys the video because it's very funny to me. But there was a part where I went out to the hallway and I was startled by a zombie, and I made a noise that I'd never made before, and it is very funny to me. But
so a new friend group is now making fun of Birdo playing video games because a friend was over and Birdo was like playing, I think Apex in the office, and he just goes, they're coming, they're inside me, they're inside me."
One time Ryan was watching me play Kirby's Adventure,
Yeah.
and I died, and I said I should have sucked him.
Yeah, he should have sucked
And-
him. I mean, but to be fair,
Ryan liked that one.
because you said it without like thinking about it, like you didn't even mean it as a joke. You were just like, should
And
have
he
sucked
probably
him.
said it with such conviction too. Like
It was just like it was just like a very like deadpan delivery. He's like, oh, I should have sucked him.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that's always a
I thought
strategy in
about that
Kirby.
after
So
Pledge breakups. But yeah, no. People make funny games playing. People make funny noises while playing games, not people
Sure.
make funny games while playing games.
yeah,
But this week we're talking about games that we want to get good at, but we struggle with.
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that Ryan, you thought about this because you're struggling so much with Dishonored 2.
No,
And oh, well, I had questions, but I figured they'd be like topic related, so I already brought it up. I'm going to ask them now.
okay.
Sure.
So, like, what exactly is like difficult for you? Is it just like the muscle memory of like which buttons to press? Is it like the actual way the character moves, or is it like just trying to figure out like how you want to play it?
So I think it's like depending on the game. I think it's a number of
Well,
different
I'm in
things.
Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2,
Is-
like it's not
Is the one I'm speaking of specifically.
Well, Dishonored 2 is I'm not having like an actual. I don't think I'm actually bad at Dishonored 2. I think that I just like I'm still not used to it yet, just because I've been playing different. I've been playing games that are like of a different style more recently, so I'm like not really in that. Because I think Dishonored like has kind of a flow to it that is like kind of unique to it that I'm still haven't latched onto yet. But I don't think I'm necessarily bad at it. But that wasn't what I was thinking of when I brought this up. But I think I'm actually probably going to be really good at Dishonored 2 now that I think about it. In fact, I think I'm probably going to be the best Dishonored 2 player.
You said that like you're bad at and trying to get good at. I was just thinking, I think trying to get good at, I don't necessarily think bad, just trying to get better at.
Yeah, sure.
And I just didn't know what you meant, like you struggle, like you're struggling with it. Like, because like I have times where because I switch in between all the consoles
Mm-hmm.
and their controllers, that like I will struggle to get into a game because
Right.
I haven't because I'm using a different controller and I keep pressing the wrong X button.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. Like
You just got to remember it, man.
because I feel dumb every time. Because logically I know, but muscle memory, my hands are stupid.
Sure. Everybody puts their X in a different place, you know? You just got to remember where the X is for you.
And then I mainly switch in between like the Xbox controller and my Switch, so it also has the AV fucking shit up too.
Sure.
Whoa.
Well,
Oh,
it's just
right.
reverse, though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like when I'm used to something,
Yeah.
I don't want to get out of that.
Yeah.
I just want the same controller for every system. Thank you very much.
Sure.
But what were you thinking about whenever you brought up the topic?
Well, it was actually a couple of games, but one of the ones that that really sticks out in my memory a lot is I like Sekiro. Like I want like that game is so fucking cool and like everything about it is so just rad, but like I am not good at it. Like I'm not good at that game. And I think that like there's it's a combination of a few different things. I think that like, as I've gotten older, like my reaction time has declined, so that's played a part in it. But I just like I want to be good at that game, but like that game is just so, for me personally, that game is just so punishing that like
it's funny. That's the Souls game that I've got the farthest in.
Yeah,
It's
weird though because like that game, like compared to the other ones, like the other Souls, like I don't think that Souls games are inherently like that difficult. I just think
Same.
Sekiro, like the timing and the movement in Sekiro are much different than the Souls games.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because like as somebody who has very little experience with all of these, I feel like Sekiro is like much more fluid than any of
for
the
sure.
Souls games. Because the Souls games, like I see other people do this strategy too. Like whenever I did try to play it, I would try to hang back and kind of get away, so then I could easily time stuff. With Sekiro, it feels, I don't want to say intuitive, I don't know like the right word for it, but it feels
it's
like more like
faster,
actual.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
So
I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
a fast game, but it's faster.
Sure.
The thing with
Faster,
Sekiro
sure.
that, like, for me, when I first started playing that game, the first hour or two, there was definitely some learning there. But like, that's one of those games where like, once you get a certain skill, that game opens itself up.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
there's nothing to tell you
Catherine
that.
is that way too.
Yeah, there's nothing to tell you that. But like, you know, once you've played enough, and you can straight up, you can just grind. You can just grind for money, just grind for, you know, like
Yeah.
grind that shit out.
Grind it.
And once you've unlocked a specific skill in that game, it becomes not that difficult. You
Right.
know?
Well, from what I understand, like, and this is the way that the game kind of presented itself to me starting out, and what I've kind of been hearing from other people who have played it is that, well, two things. One, if you are a Souls player and you try to adapt those skills to Sekiro, it's not gonna translate very well.
You're not gonna.
And two, it's just it seems like such a more aggressive game. It seems like the conversations that you have with different enemies, like you're supposed to it's like approach it with like a much more aggressive mindset than you would like another game that had a more slower and deliberate pace. And I kind of tried going into it like drawing from my experience as someone who also played through Bloodborne and kind of tried to adapt that skill set to the game. Which granted, I was never particularly great at Bloodborne either, but it is at the very least a game that I have completed.
I think it's better for you to go into it with the mindset of Doom Eternal.
Okay, so it's like
like for this situation, this is the answer. For that situation, that's the answer. You
okay.
know? Yeah.
Anecdotally, the people I know in my life that like really loved Sekiro, like and like really got into it, are also all people that were into fighting games. So I don't know how much that translates or on what.
Well, Ryan's into fighting games.
I do love those.
I'm saying like I'm saying like Ryan, you're now an official fighting game champion.
Yeah.
So
FGC scumbag over here. That's me.
Yeah.
Shanae Howard.
Yeah, I told you that was going to be like if I ever entered a major tournament, that was going to be my tournament name, right?
What, Shanae Howard?
Yeah.
Yes, I would love that. I think no, you did tell me that because I told you about how I have friends that all have each other's names on PSN, and it was very confusing playing with randos online.
Yeah.
Because like they obviously call the gamer like the handle because they don't know anyone's like real name, but of course like everybody like is answering the wrong one.
Yeah. But yeah.
So when do you think you're gonna give? Are you currently trying to play Sekiro again, or do you think that like after that you're gonna like in a bit try and play it?
You know, I'm not sure honestly. I think that like you know, I constantly, you know, I have friends who are like actively playing that game like pretty regularly. And every time I see that game in action, I'm just like, it gets in my head like maybe I should go back to it. Let me.
Man, you're making me want to go back to it.
Because like I could tell, like I know, like I can tell that it's a fantastic fucking game.
Oh yeah,
and like everything about it is just so cool, and I just want to be good at that game. But
you know what I hate is like I've got a save file on there, but I've like no idea where I'm at. Like I could be towards the end of the game or halfway. I don't really know, you know. But I like it. I like it a lot more than their other games, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, and I've also kind of been like playing other games that are like what people would say are in the Souls-like category or whatever, and you know, I do enjoy those games, but like Sekiro is just so singular within that is just like it's just so singular and unique, because I think that even other games outside of like the Soulsborne franchise, like even people who try to put their like own unique spin on it, they still don't feel as unique as Sekiro feels.
Right.
And so I really would like to give it another shot, because that game is like, just from what I could tell, is very awesome, but I have not even been to the first boss yet, so I don't know.
Justin, he got a couple seconds. He was a couple seconds like slower than the at the time record for the speed run of Sekiro.
Right.
I can hit him up and see if he has any tips.
Yeah, that would be.
Ryan could use some tips.
Yeah,
some tips and tricks.
Yeah, I could use a few tips and tricks. But
well, just nothing that I can help you out with. But like,
sure.
I got one resource that might be able to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you brought it up, the first thing I thought about was Smash Brothers.
Hmm.
Because like I've been playing different Smash games for years now, and I'm still like nowhere close to decent.
See,
I am
but
just a
when you
hair
say that,
I'm
when you
just a
say
hair
that,
above terrible. Like I am, and I only can really like have any chance of like winning or like killing anybody is if we put like items on. I I'm so not good on like skills alone.
but let me
And
ask you, because Ryan and I have talked about this with fighting games many times today. The people you are playing with, like, what level are they at?
so
Because
Berta's pretty good, but I have friends that are better.
yeah,
But I play with my friend Sean,
yeah,
and he's not nearly as good as Berto, but he is slightly better than me, even though he denies it. And we quite regularly, I mean,
but it is more of a casual thing, though.
yeah, I mean, like, he normally wins. Like, I
Yeah,
very rarely do, but I don't ever, I rarely ever like, because we also play with like CPUs to like make it more entertaining. We have like a whole big thing where like the map changes, it's all the items, things,
sure.
everything happens.
The complete
Uh,
wrong way, right? But the
yeah,
fun way, yeah,
yeah. We call it
yeah,
our mode is called all the small things, and it's
sure.
just all the things.
Sure.
Uh,
That was
but
a
like,
segment.
Yeah.
it was. Uh, so yeah, but like I wouldn't say he's better than me, but I wouldn't say he's significantly better. But I've also played with people who are even like significantly better than Birdo, and we've had like this couple like literally come over because the girlfriend came over, kicked Birdo's ass, and for like 2 years he talked about it and like played a lot and got better. And he's like, let's invite them over for a couple nights so we can all play Smash Brothers. Like
That's
that's how
awesome. Plotting.
like and like Birdo's like we've sat down and spent like a couple hours at different times like trying to get me better at it. And like because when my friend came over, I've been playing Smash for years and I still hadn't like figured out the double jump really. And
Yeah.
she's like and so she's like explains it to me and like helps me figure it out. I'm like, I can double. Came on the show and I was excited about it. But like I just and I also the other game that popped in my head is Halo as well, and like I've never been good at that, and I'm still like I'm getting better, but I'm actually seeing progress in that, but I'm still not good. And I
Yeah.
think that like these have the same like it's the same reason like as far as like Smash and Halo is just like I'm so focused on what I want to do that I don't really pay attention super well to like other
What other people are doing.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm just so focused that I want to get off this one move, or I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then do that, and I try to accomplish that, and I just like, I'm not good at I'm not good at a lot of things, but I'm just like, I'm not good at like countering. This is now I'm going back to Smash, but I'm not good at like blocking. Like I always just want to like get a hit off instead of like blocking that and then hitting. I'm not with like the whole rhythm of like fighting games in general where it's like it's supposed to be like you're
Almost
playing
turn-based. Yeah.
not necessarily turn based, but like you're also supposed to take into their moves into consideration
Right.
when you're doing yours, and I just don't do that, and I don't really necessarily know how to get my brain to like do it, and it's not just the ADHD because I've done it on my medication and I'm still not good at it. So I don't know. I think I just have to like get that thing in my brain that flips, and I finally am able to like also process that.
Yeah.
I don't know what will make that happen because, like I said, I've been playing Smash for years. Granted, only in the last year or so have I gotten back into Halo, but I didn't play Halo LAN parties for 3, and it's not like I've never played a Halo game or like
Yeah.
any sort of shooter. And I don't know, like I don't necessarily have that issue with other games because, like there's I don't know, maybe it's just because I like because there's other humans involved. I get like more like in my head about it. I don't know.
Of course.
It is.
I do think that fighting game players are like way too hard on themselves when it comes to that kind of thing, right? In that like we don't look at it as like we look at it as a separate thing, right? When we think about learning to play an instrument or learning to play basketball or any other learned skill, you know, I've known so many guys that play like Street Fighter players that are like, oh well, I can't do this combo, or I'm only this rank or whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, you're not fucking diamond rank because those guys. That's like saying I'm not Michael Jordan. Like, no shit, you're not. You know?
Yeah.
Like, give yourself a little bit of a break. But
I just want to beat computers. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
And Shanae, you honestly have a leg up on me with Smash because like I watch people playing Smash and I'm just like I have no idea what is happening on the screen right now.
I lose my character because I do play with all of the items and like CPUs and like the stage will change multiple times.
Yeah.
Because I do all that, I do quite often lose my character. And then like when you get like a little friend, like a little Pokemon or like character from another game, it also has your name above them.
Sure.
So sometimes if I get like a little friend that like has a very similar color scheme to my character, I'll totally lose it. And then I'm like, oh, why did I just jump off that cliff? I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm on the other side. So that also happens, and that's probably a sign of not being very good at it. But I can't follow my own character.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. With Halo, that one I think I'm struggling less and less with. I still think that like just my reaction times, and it's just I know that most of the people that I'm playing with have played a significant amount more Halo than I have. And they've also played a lot more shooting games than I have. So that one, I do genuinely think I'm struggling with it just because I don't have the experience. But like the more I play, the more I'll get that. So that one I'm not necessarily worried about. Smash Brothers, though, I don't know if I'll ever like be where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm decent at Smash.
Yeah.
Like I am not the worst Smash player, but I'm definitely I wouldn't say I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that like I think Smash is one of those games to me that is like very cool from like to watch. Even if, like I said, even if I don't have any idea what's happening, but like even like with playing that game, like it's just so much stuff to keep track of, even with like just two people on the screen at once, just because of like how much stuff happens and all the different mechanics involved. Yeah, it's just like there's so much. So like I don't even know where to begin with Smash. So I mean,
yeah, it's.
See, what's funny is like I don't play Smash, but I feel like it's pretty easy to follow. You know?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Well,
compared to watching other fighting games.
Yeah.
You're a god amongst men.
Sure.
No, not at all. But like Ryan plays games like Guilty Gear. Like that's way more complex. Especially being the spectator.
Yeah, but the thing is in Guilty Gear the dudes are bigger. That's the thing, is the dudes are bigger.
The avatars, yeah.
Yeah, the dudes are bigger, and I can keep my eye on them a lot more easily.
Yeah, and also, though actually learning the mechanics to actually play it, though, Guilty Gear is significantly more difficult because the mechanics of actually like how to move and do stuff is pretty easy with like Smash Brothers in my opinion.
Got your directions and your buttons, and that's it. You know, like your up B and your all that shit.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I'm still not good at like. So, like, the fast drop, still not good at that.
Yeah.
And there's just
or you do it over a cliff, you know?
Yeah. No, like, I got super excited that I did. I was like, oh, fuck it. And then I was, like, right at the edge, and then, like, it was pretty high up. And
I've
then
been
I
there.
just fell straight down. I was like, I wasn't killing myself. But I started, like, slapping Birdos. I was like, look, I did. Oh. I was like, don't look.
Yeah.
Died there for a second. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other games like we've talked about. Like there's just so many games I'm not good at, and they're just different reasons. Some of it is just like my lack of want to be good at it, because there's some game mechanics. If I think a game mechanic is dumb, I just don't want to do it, and therefore I don't want to play the game.
Yeah.
Like I know y'all were like super stoked, and I think maybe now if I played it, I'd probably be more excited about like Vanquish with the sliding.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking dumb.
Is it because he slides on his knees? Is that the problem? Because of the knees?
Yeah.
You just don't like cool things. That's all right.
I get
it. If you're to slide on your knees, you better be sucking that D or like.
Look,
I don't
he
know,
slides
man.
around on his knees while shooting guns and smoking cigarettes. That's
hell
badass.
I mean, those are three
Uh,
cool things. I don't understand the problem.
but like I think though, like, so platforming I have always struggled with, and I think it's just I get impatient with a lot of platformers because I know that there's a timing to it, and I just like once I've misjudged a jump, like I just try, and then by the like third or fourth, I'm like I'm just pissed off that I've had to redo this a couple times,
Yeah.
and I just want to be naturally good at video games, and I'll enjoy them so much more. But I'm
Mm,
not.
yeah.
Uh, and I know like most of this comes down to like just learning the timing, learning the flow of the games, and like experience that comes with. But some of these, I just think that even with it, I'm just never going to. And maybe it's my own defeatist attitude. I'm just like I'm never going to get good at it, so I'm just going to try. I'm just going to find something else that I like super like because that's the beauty of video games. There's such a variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. What about you, Tom? Because you're good at all video games. So
No, that's not true. There's like whole genres that I just miss out on, right? Like it's hard for me to think of specific games, like specific titles,
yeah,
but like I can think of entire genres that I would like to and have bought many games in those genres, but I'm just not great at. Like simulation racing, I've talked about on the show
oh
several
yeah,
times. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
I'm great at arcade racers, but like sim racers, I'm fucking garbage, like real bad. It's usually these simulation games, right? Like I don't know how many times I've bought NHL,
sure,
and I'm just terrible at it, but I
yeah,
keep buying them,
yeah,
but I'm no good at it. You know,
yeah.
same thing. NBA 2K, like I've bought NBA 2K several times, but I'm just terrible at it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with those sim racers, right? Like because like even with uh like because like with Forza Horizon, right? Like I know that's supposed to be like the more arcadey version of Forza, but
yeah.
it's even still a little bit too far into the sim area for me. And a lot of the time, like the people who are like really good at those sim racers are just like, well, I'm also going to invest in a racing wheel to like have that precision control over the game, and like
But that was you for a bit.
I
You know,
I almost did that.
yeah, but like
Mhm.
I
you
almost
I
did that.
mean,
And
maybe you were terrible at them, but I remember you talking about like Project Cars and
yeah.
Drive Club and Gran Turismo and all that shit. Like you were into it
Yeah.
at least for a minute.
Yeah, I mean I was, but at the same time like I was terrible at it. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I could pull all the videos that if I could pull video from all the times I played Grid on the 360, you would get to see how smashed up all of my cars got. Because because I was terrible at it, but I still had fun, but like I had no delusions about being good at it, you
And you know
know.
what's funny about like those games, right? Is like there's such a wealth of content for that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like if you love NBA 2K, you've got a new one every year, baby.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
every fucking
Come
year
on,
you got a
baby.
new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's they're funny because like they're so similar, right? I think about other similar titles that I was good at, things like Fight Night or
Yeah.
like Skate,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, am I better at those because I understand the sport better, or
I don't
is
know.
it just because like fucking people that
It does
love
have
basketball
something.
seem to be pretty good at NBA 2K, you know?
Yeah.
So
And like,
I think that has something to do with it because if you already really enjoy the subject matter,
yeah,
then you are more inclined to have like knowledge of like let's take NHL.
yeah,
Like if you have knowledge about like the type of plays, how characters move professionally, different things that they can do, and you have that base knowledge because this is your passion. I can't see how that wouldn't
but for me, it
correlate.
has nothing to do with plays, though. You know?
Well, I can't imagine that wouldn't correlate to like because you have all this base knowledge,
Right,
like when
right.
you play the simulation game of it, to things in the game to better piece them in your mind cohesively when you play.
Yeah. But like those are the
And
major ones for me. Like it's that
but why do you
style
think
of
you're bad
game.
at sim racing though? Like what would you like?
I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
like what?
I mean,
What do you
I
think that you
I'll say
struggle with
this.
it?
I'll say this. I don't know shit about cars. I don't think that has much to do with it because I've seen people do awesome at those games
yeah.
in a fucking Civic,
Yeah.
But like,
You don't. I mean,
but
you don't know how you don't need to know how a microwave works to use it, right?
right.
But like I think
But
that
I don't. It's just the way the game's controlled.
knowing how it works.
They're intended to control in a more realistic way.
Yeah.
I'm used to playing racing games where like all the shifting is done for me, and like I'm basically holding down the gas pedal the whole time,
Ridge Racer.
unless I'm drifting.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that a lot.
I've definitely played things that are a bit more in depth. I platinum Dirt, right? Like Dirt 5.
Yeah.
I platinum that bitch, but like, you know, it's not the same. Like that is not the same as Gran Turismo.
Yeah, and I think that
We are not the same.
I think those games do require like an understanding of like some core concepts like specific to racing, right? And I think that some games do a better job of explaining that stuff than others. Like there are some games there are a lot of simulation racing games that don't explain to you what following a line means, right? And like
I feel like most of them do.
no, I've played so many that don't.
Okay, well the ones I've
Tommy,
played
Ryan's
typically
already
do.
an expert here.
Like for many years now, right? Like for many years Forza has, for many years Gran Turismo
like
has,
Forza,
and it's like follow that line, and it's like it shows me the fucking line on the floor, and I still can't do it.
well, like those two definitely do, but I've played so many that don't, and that are like really bad about like I've played actually a lot of simulation games in like the last couple of years that are like actually really bad at they do a lot of assumptions. They make a lot of assumptions about your proficiency in the real world equivalent to the thing that they are simulating. And I think that sort of thing can get lost on the player, like who's just like, I want to do this thing that I'd never be able to do in real life in this video game, and then it's like, well, I don't understand some of this stuff, so I guess I'm at a loss.
So, yeah, I mean, with the simulation games that I have played, a lot of it versus like more arcadey, the counterparts, just to use kind of the terms from that.
Yeah.
Like
you can say casual, it's fine.
Yeah. I obviously like this. I feel like timing is like just so much more specific because like
absolutely.
Because like with like so when I think of like MLB versus what was the robot baseball game on the NES?
Are you thinking of Base Wars? Is that the one? Is it Base Wars?
I might maybe. I think even if you said the name, I wouldn't jog my memory. I just know what it was that I played. So when I think about the difference of that, obviously, like I think like the overall game and enjoyability of it, more like casual arcade games. Like so therefore timing doesn't really matter. It's just like can you get it done? Yeah. But like the simulations, obviously, it's like how well can you do this one thing?
You know? Okay, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I have landed 0 free throws in NBA 2K. 0. Because I can't get the hang of the
other thing that I always think about is like there are games where like, and I'm certain you guys must have them too. You guys have to have a game where like you're really not sure where your skill level is. Yeah. You know, like I love Tetris. I know I'm pretty fucking good at Tetris. You know, I also love Luminous. I probably love Luminous more than I love Tetris, but like I don't know if I'm good at that game. You know,
so is it because like it's not giving you enough feedback about like how you're doing or what strategies you're using?
The feedback that it's given is leaderboards, which is typically the feedback you see in most of these kinds of games, right? Mm-hmm. And like, okay, well, I can compare myself to the rest of the world. So like, I guess I'm like somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
I could compare myself to my friends, but none of my friends play Luminous.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Hey Tom, you're better than me.
Yeah, so like I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of games where I'm like really not sure how good I am.
Yeah, because like you're the only one who plays it, and you don't have a lot of people to compare it to.
Monkey Ball, I love Monkey Ball. I have no idea. I might be fucking terrible at that. I feel terrible at it a lot of the time. You know.
I feel like I'm pretty okay at Monkey Ball, but I feel like if I played it, if there was like a scoreboard of it, like for the world, like there is for Luminous,
there is. Yeah.
Oh well, like. I've never played a Monkey Ball game that had me compare it to like the rest of the world. I just have played it with friends like locally. Yeah. And normally I win or I never am like the worst player of all the Monkey Ball games. Right. Yeah. So I like to say that I'm pretty okay at it, but like overall in the world, I probably am terrible at it, like comparatively. Yeah. But I know what you mean because like
same thing like we were talking about Sekiro. Like I think I'm okay at it.
Yeah.
but I might only be a third into the game. I have no fucking idea where I'm at, you know?
I have that problem with like a lot of like RPGs, whether it be like Western or JRPG, because it's very hard to say in those like very story-driven games or like ones where you're not like necessarily collecting points to say if you're good at it or not. I would say that yes, I am, because I normally like, because I've played so many, intuitively know where like if you're gonna have a hidden thing, where is it gonna be at? Like I can like, and I can do all this without getting lost and stuff like that. So there's markers in there like that I think that aren't necessarily in the game, as in like, oh, you get 100 points because you found this. But I think that I would be better at like a JRPG than say like Birdo, because I just have played more of them and getting experience. But there's no way to tell if I'm good or not at that.
Exactly, and especially like amongst friends, right? With the conversations we have on the show or in the Discord or whatever, right? Like, in my mind, Shanae must be fucking awesome at Fire Emblem, you know? Because she beat the shit out of that game.
That one
I don't know how many times, right? But like, I don't fucking know, you know? Like, there are other instances where like when Abs got those fucking records for Daytona.
Yeah.
Clearly Abs is awesome at Daytona, you know? Yeah. But like oftentimes it's so hard to tell. It's so hard to tell.
Well,
I've posted combo videos on our Twitter account, you know?
Yeah.
And like they're great combos that I did in training mode, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, like, okay, so one of my things, right, is I think I've mentioned it, like where like you're playing a game and you are making progress and you know you're not really getting hung up on anything, but like there's that nagging feeling like, am I playing this game the right way? Because like that's me.
I have it quite often, and then when I look at videos of how other people play it, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing any of that.
Well, like,
are they good? Am I bad? But then I'm like, are they bad?
Well, that's me specifically with character action games, right? Where because I've been playing a little bit of Devil May Cry 4 lately, and like there's all these like you're unlocking like all these moves and combos all over the place, and you got to combine them to get that style rank up real high. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm doing this right, because like I'm having a real hard time linking these things together. Like I'm not getting stuck anywhere, but like I'm kind of like I end up either accidentally spamming the same combo because I can't get the timing on the button presses right, or something else, you know. So I don't think I'm good at Devil May Cry 4. I'm just competent enough to progress through the game, I guess.
Right.
You know, but
in Bayonetta, they at least have like combo scores that you can like look at, right? Don't they?
Yeah.
I was like, I remember Bayonetta. I was like, I can't remember Devil May Cry. I assumed it did.
Yeah,
I thought it does. Because at least you have like that, or you have some sort of like indicator of like you did a good thing.
Right.
With like a lot of the games that I do play, I mean, it's part of the reason I like them is I find them less stressful because I don't have a bar that I need to compare to all the time, and then like beat myself up over like not being good at it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like,
but it sucks though, right? Like with Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, like those games that give you that score, right? Like I can get fucking triple S all day, but like my triple S sure ended a lot quicker than that guy on YouTube, you know? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost this false grade. Like it's not real. It's real because the game is telling you you're doing good, but like really how good are you?
Well, that's the thing about Devil May Cry 4 as well, is that like, so with every letter tier of your combo or whatever, like there's a meter that fills up as you keep the combo going, and when the meter fills up, you go up to the next tier, right? But the thing is, with that, if that meter, like let's say I'm at rank B on my combo, right? And if I go too long without hitting somebody, then the meter goes all the way down. But the next time I hit somebody, the meter starts filling back up again, and I'm still at rank B. So like
you got to go faster.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that like, am I really at rank B, or am I really actually at rank D and you're just lying to me? So
and a lot of games do that, right? Like Overwatch, I do think it's a fun game, but the little bit of time that I spent with it, man, that game likes to suck your dick. You know,
Yeah.
it likes to tell
I
you
see that.
how
My dick is
great
so
you
dry.
are. But it's lying to you.
Yeah,
you
the last
know?
time I played it, doesn't
And
tell
I
you
don't
your,
need-
it doesn't tell you your KDR or anything.
Yeah, and I don't need to be coddled. You know, like
Yeah.
I do. I had a very rough year. Please tell me I'm good. Thank you very much. But to kind of go back though, like, so rank S or rank B or whatever, like that's still some sort of indicator of like how if like you being good, like whether
Sure.
even if it's not like a scoreboard, like hey, like the guy
Clearly,
on
S is
YouTube
better than B, right?
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
the guy on YouTube lasts longer than you, but
Yeah.
like but like the guy but Ryan's B is not as good as your S, so
Yeah.
like yeah, I mean like at least it's something because yeah, like it's because even with like fighting games, like yeah, it's hard to tell on some of those if you're good or not, but there's still like an indicator by if you're winning or losing.
Sure. Well, like, and that sort of thing is objective, right? But like, it's funny because there are like a lot of fighting games. They will try to kind of like after a fight, they will give you an idea of like what you like. Did you fight more defensively? Did you fight more offensively? And some will even go so far as to like give you a little summary of the way that you fought. Just a one sentence blurb that's kind of summarize how you fought. But sometimes they like for instance Strive, right? Like it does that, but it is so fucking nonsensical and meaningless because it'll just tell you like you fought with the passion of a warrior who never gives up. I was like, what does that fucking mean? Did I block too much?
It means you failed and you're getting your ass down. You didn't stop.
And with fighting games, it's weird though, right? Because yeah, you can say, well, did you win or did you lose?
Yeah.
And that's true, but like, who were you playing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that matters a lot.
Yeah.
I mean that's true, but I still think at least it gives you some sort of indicator rather than I'm trying to think of like all right, so let's say Final Fantasy VII. How do you know if you're good at that game?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I have no like that's so
you got a golden chocobo? Does that mean
when
you're
you
good at
don't probably when you don't got to revive a bunch and you're not using lots of Phoenix Downs and all that. Like,
yeah.
You know,
yeah, I guess
when you have a surplus of those items.
Yeah, I guess that's the only metric you could use, right? Because like everything else is just like it's just numbers. Like it's just numbers against other numbers, right? And like just trying to make sure your numbers are higher than their numbers.
Well, right, and I think that's where it comes down to it with games like that, and especially with games like Diablo, right? Like how good at math are you? You know, like that's like even though the games don't really have that much to do with math, they do, and it's all about like how well can you put your shit together. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, because those games are all about like getting the numbers to go up higher, right?
Right.
And so like your metric of success is like how high are my numbers going, and like versus like how much health am I losing during each encounter, right? And you know, and I guess like sometimes when like somebody is like will say like look at this this guy's like a super awesome Diablo player, and like, well, what does that mean? Like, does it mean he knows a lot about the game? Does it mean that he's like what is it like? Because I guess I don't understand like what that means exactly. But then again, I don't know. I know enough about Diablo to have fun and pick up the loot, but that's about it.
Hey Ryan, real quick, you're talking about Guilty Gear. I've been meaning to ask you. So like, I still have yet to play like the 1.0 version of Strive, right?
Sure.
Accent Core recently released this thing to where like you can watch your replay of your matches and you can jump in at any point in that replay and start controlling the game again. Basically, so like if you fucked up here, you could see what would work to get you out of that situation.
Right.
That's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Does Strive do that or no?
Not insofar as I'm aware. Like all the replays are just video clips, as far as I can tell, and they don't really have any sort of interactivity to them. That being said, I don't ever play. I never played like single player on that game, so like I don't think that's a thing with like against the computer, but yeah, like it'll record, it'll like automatically records all your matches, but I think like all you can do is watch them.
Yeah, like that's the kind of thing that I think there needs to be more of that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that like what sucks is like having that moment where like that you made a mistake, like at a certain moment, but like not being able to like revisit that period, that moment to kind of see what would have worked to get you out of it.
Right.
And you kind of just have to wait for that situation to arise again, and you might
that's
not
what I
even be
mean,
ready
right? Like,
for it.
Especially with
Man.
these games where it is difficult to tell where you stand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't tell
I
where
like
you
it.
stand, you can at least know that you're making yourself better.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Feature in something like the God of War, like because there's times where like I fight a boss, and like with the new God of War, I believe it's an autosave feature. Like, I mean, I don't think I could have made a second save, but there's games though like that where like there's just like a boss fight I just want to redo again because I'm like, man, I could have done that better.
Yeah.
I was like, I made it through, but that's fine. I'm not going to replay this game to get to that point again. Or like, yeah, I didn't know that would add a lot of replayability to a lot of like adventure story games.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you said earlier though, Ryan, that you had a couple games you're thinking about. We really only talked about one.
Yeah, there's I don't know. I've said before that like I don't think I'm very good at video games, so I have a lot that I could mention. But the one that like so there was a game, like I'm sure you guys are aware of it, this game called Dauntless that was kind of like it's a free to play sort of Monster Hunter type game. And I like Dauntless a lot. Like I think like its style and presentation is very, very cool. But I am just so fucking trash at that game, and it goes back to like my reaction time is just so like it's a mixture of like reaction time and my inability to like read like the wind up animations of these monsters just because like it doesn't process quickly enough for me. So I'm just like constantly like I feel like I'm constantly like running myself into a wall with this game because like. And it's something that what has caused me to like.
Let's just be more Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I was about to say because you put in, I'm going to assume at least 1,000 hours into Monster Hunter World. So like
3,000.
Okay, I mean it doesn't really matter. What matters is that like
it matters to me.
Like I think it's the same thing you're saying with fucking Sekiro. You know?
Yeah.
You are playing games in the same genre. And you're so used to the way those work,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
That when you jump to something that works a little bit differently, of course it would be an adjustment, you know.
Yeah.
But
I also think that like I do think that there is something to be said about. I think part of the balance of those games is giving the player enough information to tell them like what to do and when to do it in a given situation. Specifically when we're talking about like with these encounters with the monsters, right? The Monster Hunter, like like at a certain point you get to recognize the wind up animations of the monster, so you know when
Absolutely.
to dodge and like and when to do certain things, right? And I think that like
that's 90% of Dark Souls, if my understanding
90% of games, yeah.
And so I think like that the difference lies in like how well are you communicating that to the player, right? Because I think that part of the problem with Dauntless is that the monster animations are kind of erratic in a lot of different ways, so it's kind of hard to really tell like what's going to happen until it's already happening.
But if you played it for 3,000 hours, you'd probably know those animations real well.
Maybe.
So if
you know what I mean?
If you didn't play any other game in the genre, I think that you would pick up on them probably a little bit more because like you don't have any of that background knowledge of like other games interfering with your brain.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But at the same
Just delete everything you know in your brain about Monster Hunter, and you'll be great at Dauntless.
Sure, maybe.
Eventually.
That's, you know, but like it's one of those things where you know as much as I like it, you know, I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm just like, well, you know, I do like this game a lot, and I would like to be better at it. However, you know, there are things about it that like just kind of just give me a little bit too much. Like I'm getting a little bit too much pushback when I'm playing the game. Like, and it's not like I like being challenged, but like there's a point at which like there's a line where that goes from being challenged to feel like I'm just kind of being like, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but I just don't feel like there's not like there's not a really good balance between challenge and enjoyment here.
Right.
So I don't know.
But you acknowledge though that's you at your skill level, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
obviously, there are people who get tons of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And
Uh,
I don't.
We're not shitting on the game. It's just
Yeah.
acknowledging that they're struggling with it, and
Yeah.
sometimes. And I'm somebody who's gave up on a lot of games because it's not clicking.
Right.
And we try
Yeah,
to
like, I will likely never buy NHL again. You know, I probably won't
Say
ever
that.
buy another one.
But next time I buy an NHL game, I'm going to bring this episode back.
Well, see, here's the thing, Shanae. Every couple of years, you get one for free on PS Plus. So I don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you download it.
Yeah. I'll download it.
But yeah. Do y'all have any closing thoughts about our topic today?
I got another one that like I'm never sure if I'm good at. That's Minesweeper. I love Minesweeper, right?
What is the meta
But,
of
like,
Minesweeper exactly?
There's no meta. You just fucking sweep the mines. It's a simple game.
No, you
know?
don't. There's got to be a thing that you're supposed. There's got to be a way to optimize the sweep.
Well, sure. I mean, here's the thing, right? Minesweeper is typically done. There's two ways you can look at it, right? A, can you solve the puzzle? Yeah, I can solve the puzzle. It doesn't matter the size. I can solve the fucking Minesweeper puzzle. The problem is that Minesweeper is when you're playing on Windows, right? Like the old Windows Minesweeper
Yeah.
is it goes based off of your time.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to solve the puzzle?
Yeah.
You know? I'm like,
How long are you
is that
taking,
good?
Tom?
I'm like, is that a good time? Did I get a good time? You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good time.
Bro, there's gotta there has to be like a number of different repositories.
Yeah, but then you just feel like a fucking dork looking up the Minesweeper high scores, you know?
But I mean, you're already playing Minesweeper to begin with.
All of us have done much dorkier things and look up the times for Minesweeper things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as embarrassing things we've done, it is so low on the scale.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I also think that, like, with games like Minesweeper, at least for me personally, it's just like I have hit a set goal in my head. Like, say
Yeah.
I have this board, and like it's like the largest board, and I want to beat it in like less than a minute, and I do
Right.
that, then I'm good. Like,
Well,
that's it.
and Minesweeper, I guess on Windows XP, whatever version that shipped with XP, right? Like that version of Minesweeper, it tells you like this is the score you're going for, and when you beat that, then you know you're good. But like I don't know, that's
Wait,
fine. I can beat those.
I got something for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay. So in beginner, a good time would be 15 seconds or less.
Yeah. See, I can't do that. I can
Okay.
get it 20 seconds.
Okay,
No problem.
we'll see here. See,
But
so
Okay.
intermediate.
well, that's what XP tells me. XP tells me 20 seconds is great.
Yeah.
You know.
So
He's a liar.
well, keep in mind this is a cursory search on Google, and that was the first result that I found gave me that information.
But that's what I mean, right? Minesweeper is doing the same thing to me that Devil May Cry does.
Yeah, it's lying
You know,
to you.
you see what I mean?
It's
It's like-
it's plumping you up to
Yeah.
get you to feel good about yourself. But I'll tell you this though, on the intermediate difficulty, 50 seconds or less is considered good.
Mhm.
So if you can do that, then you're a good sweeper.
Sure.
I'm seeing Tom peacocking around with 20 seconds on Minesweeper, but there's like a 7-year-old Russian kid's like, oh,
Yeah,
5 seconds.
exactly. Exactly.
Well, it's a thinking man's game, you know. You gotta train your brain to make those fast moves. So you know we'll get you there.
But yeah.
That's
I
it.
don't want to wrap I don't want to wrap the episode up again. But I'm gonna do it. Is there anything
Do
that
it.
y'all wanted to add or any closing thoughts on this?
I guess my closing thought as far as like games like that, right? Like Minesweeper or Devil May Cry or like any of those, like does it really matter how good you are at them if you're having a good time?
Yeah, just be good.
You know?
Be good enough to have
You
a good
say
time.
that, but then you also want to look up Minesweeper.
Well, to be fair, I did that.
Well, Like, don't do what
I said he
what
wanted
I
to.
do. Be
Yeah.
better than me.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Greatness awaits.
If you're struggling
Yeah.
with the game,
Sean
you
Layden
know,
said that.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Sean.
Professor Layton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professor Sean Layden.
Yeah, if you're struggling with a game, look at videos. Find out what friends you have that are good at it. Ask for some tips. But also, if you get to a point where it's just not fun, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Not every game's for you.
And if all
And
else,
that's okay.
if all else fails, cheat.
Or quit.
Yeah,
you know?
that.
Yeah. You gotta cheat.
You know, make games work for you. Don't work for games.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Cheat.
You sounded like fucking Morty for a second there. Oh man.
And then I just laughed.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what's your last thought?
Cheat.
All right.
Game
So
Shark.
Get yourself a Game Shark, a Game Genie, an Action Replay, whatever you gotta do.
Whatever you need.
Take whatever advantage you find, you take it. Because the only thing that matters is winning. Nothing else matters.
Like YOLO.
Yeah.
All that jazz. But if you're listening or watching us, then obviously we're on the platform that you're on. But for just to listen more, we're on the YouTubes. We are on iTunes. We're on the Google Play Store. We're on Stitcher, Spotify. We have a Discord. We have a Twitter that we rarely update.
It's been literally years, I'm sure.
Yeah. And bye.
Bye.
Bye.